Hi, I'm Andy, this is Project Car Haven, and today we're back working on the BA Falcon. I'm going to start today's episode by thanking you, the viewer. A lot of comments were left on the last video trying to help diagnose what was going on with the car, because a lot of you have had the same issues with your Falcons and have managed to overcome them. The sharing of information helps everybody, so I appreciate it, and thank you if you did leave a comment. I made a mistake in trying to get the laptop to read the ECU because the CAN bus system runs through the ICC and I have not installed the other one yet, so that's probably why I had connection issues to do with that. So first step today is going to be to get that ICC connected. I have changed the ECU because when I turned the key on, the throttle body was clicking madly away. And someone had pointed out that they had exactly the same thing happen. Turns out their ECU was fried. Another thing I did was test the start signal wire out of the ECU, which should pull to ground, but when I turn the key would go up to 12 volts, indicates an internal short. So hopefully that getting recoded once I get the ICC fitted, and hopefully we get the laptop connected and working, will resolve our no start issue. Freshly charged battery, give us the best chance of getting this thing to come to life. Well, with the key on, the throttle body isn't going crazy, so that's a good start. Got our replacement ICC from out of a Ford Territory. The BEM that belongs with this car is now attached. It's a matter of slotting this in, hopefully not bending any pins on this plug, getting the BEM plugs in, turning the key and see if we can make something happen. Now, don't expect too much to happen with turning the key, but hopefully this comes to life, which is an indicator that something's happening. Well, the head unit's lit up, it's flashing code. That's expected because it doesn't belong with this car. We need the laptop to be able to code it to the car. The PATS light's flashing. It's an indication that the cluster and ECU are actually talking to each other. I am hopeful that the laptop will actually connect now. We can read some codes, program things. We're getting somewhere. And moving the shifter did indicate on the dash that each gear was reading correctly. One of the suggestions was that this switch was preventing it from starting. The car didn't realize it was in park or neutral. I don't think that's the case. Well, I know that this is in and performing some functions, so I'm going to go ahead and reinstall everything here like it's supposed to be before we move on to trying to read codes and program things using the laptop. So 4 bolts hold the ICC in down the bottom, here and down here, same on the other side. 1 Phillips screw at the top, and that's it. I do have a new cover plate for the top, but I'm not going to install it yet. So in case all this works, I've got the laptop plugged into mains power. I've got a battery charger on the battery because you don't want that going flat in the middle of trying to program. But first, need to try and get this to actually connect. So because this computer's old, I can't get screen recording to work, so I need to use this thing to capture it. Attempt to connect. It's actually connected, so this is progress. It was not doing this before. It's currently just scanning for all the modules, telling me what's wrong, which is plenty. Yep, a lot of this will be from changing the ECU over. So what I'm going to try and do is see if I can reset them all. See what comes back. Data mismatch, vehicle theft detected. Audio control module has an error because it needs to be programmed, and all the rest of the stuff is gone. Now I've climbed in to get a bit more comfortable because resetting the PATS or the anti-theft system can take 10 to 12 minutes of just sitting here and twiddling your thumbs. So I'm not going to record all of that, but I will get the process started now and hopefully come back with some success. In order to do this, you need an extended license with Forescan, not just the free software. Unfortunately, you can get a 2-month free trial. You just need to activate a license, wait for half an hour for one to be issued. There's a whole bunch of instructions on the web page on how to get that license into the software. Once that's done, it should give the ability to reset PATS, program the ICC, and a whole bunch of other functions. So just going to kick that off.
20 minutes later.
Okay, so I did the key erase and reprogram. That was successful. I went back out and back in again to the service parameters. I then did a module initialization procedure. That takes 12 minutes, a security kind of feature, I guess. So you have to sit there waiting. And then eventually it says it's done, which means technically the keys match the BEM, match the ECU, and everything should work. I guess we're about to find out. Yes! Noisy pulleys. So I'm guessing that means the ECU was fried. Everything's fine now. I mean, I haven't put it in gear, but I assume that works because I haven't actually touched the transmission. Need to code the ICC or the stereo so you know it actually functions as a radio. The 4Scan software is pretty straightforward, has on-screen instructions. You just follow the prompts and do what it tells you to do. Cycle the key on, turn it off, push a button, you know, stuff like that. Well, as usual, there's wins and losses, so the car does start and it kind of moves in reverse. For some reason now I can't get drive. It goes park, reverse, neutral. The gears seem slightly away from where the latch is for each position. I do have a position switch on the way. Maybe that's gone, or a clip's broken, or cable's stretched. The ICC's in, it's displaying a volume change, but there's no sound coming out. I'm pretty sure it's tuned into an actual radio station. So I checked the plugs underneath in the BEM. They're all connected fine, so more investigating, but we're in a better place than we were about 20 minutes ago. Let's start knocking out some of the smaller jobs, like these boot struts are no good. That'll do nicely. There we go. Pop this retaining clip out like so. Same on the other end, same on the other side. Take these old ones off, put the new ones on. Much better. Replacement key fobs. This car only had one. All the icons are worn off the buttons, so thought I'd supply some new ones. Programming these is pretty easy. Turn the key to accessories. Within 3 seconds, press the rear demist button 3 times. The door lock should cycle, which indicates it's in programming mode. Press a button on the new remote. The door locks will cycle again to prove that it's synced with the car. And then you just need to repeat that process for up to 4 key fobs, and then switch the key off and it should be done. And all the doors should be shut for this procedure as well. Apparently, easy as that. Test by pressing the unlock button on one. That worked. And lock. Well, it would appear I'm having issues because the driver's door lock button is jamming up. Other than that, it is responding to the inputs from the remotes. I'm just going to pause for a second because I know things probably look a bit rushed. I am rushing. I haven't had much time to actually work on any of the cars because I've got other things going on in my life. Sold my house, bought another one, which gives me the opportunity to build a really big shed. So I've had to dedicate time to all of that stuff. I'm not sure how long this episode's going to be. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it out on time. I don't know if the next video is going to be out on time. Obviously, now that I've got this started, the door lock unlock seems to be the door lock actuator, so that's another part to buy. The car not going into drive, that's another thing to sort out, possibly another part to buy. Top radiator hose has a kink in it. I don't know why, so we've got to replace that as well. So the shifter won't move into drive. The reason for that is the bush on the shifter linkage has turned to dust. They tend to do that, so I need to order a replacement for that to be able to get the functionality back. The power steering switch is leaking, which is why there's fluid all over the ground. The driver's side, front and rear door lock actuators don't work. This one grinds, means the gears are probably stripped, and that one is making no noise at all. And the idler and tensioner pulleys on the front of the engine are not very happy. So what I'm going to do is use this long screwdriver, like a stethoscope, listen to the bearings and all the pulleys, and you'll soon see which one is bad. So the power steering pump, the water pump, the idler pulley. So now I get to go away and make a nice big list of parts I need to buy and spend all my mate's money because this isn't my car. But in the meantime, I guess we can start cleaning. Plenty of oil and mess in the engine bay that needs to be blasted off. The exterior of the car is filthy, and might even attempt to polish it, you know, just to be nice. These headlights need restoration, so yeah, well, have to start somewhere, and this engine bay does need a lot of attention, so I think I'll begin with this by getting some degreaser on and trying to remove all the gross leaky stuff from everything. And it's not perfect, but that does look a lot better than it did. A lot of that power steering fluid that had leaked because of that leaking switch will get sorted out when I get a replacement switch, and various other grime that was in the bay is now pretty much gone. But while I'm here, I think I'll sort out this kinked radiator hose. Maybe it's put on wrong, maybe it's the wrong one. There's two hose clamps on either end, so I'm going to get rid of this and put on one that's supposed to fit. And I think I'll probably end up giving the whole system a flush. So I started by draining all the coolant into a bucket, so hopefully when this comes off there won't be too much coolant or water or whatever's in there left. Yeah, that's pretty badly kinked. So I got the hose off, but I've put it back on temporarily facing up because I've got this radiator flushing tool that simply goes into a hose like so. Put a garden hose on here, air compressor line here, supercharges the velocity of water through the cooling system and pushes out any gunk that's in the system and the block. Got my new hose here, fit that on, refill the system with water and coolant, demineralized water that is, and then run the engine up to temp to let all the air burp out of the system, and we're good. Well, I think I've fallen for the old classic side quest mission. See, I'm going to jack the front of the car up to get it level so the coolant will bleed properly. Well, while it's in the air, I could take the front wheels off and clean them properly. The brake shields are rusty, so they could do with a coat of paint. And while the wheel's off, I've got access to be able to clean all the wheel arches. So one job just turned into 5-ish. Yeah, that's pretty standard. Anyway, get on with it. Rusty. Coat the wheel wells in degreaser. Going to blast the crust off with this wire brush, give them a clean and then a coat of paint. Switching to a nylon brush to do the wheels, same procedure, bit of degreaser, give them a scrub, let them soak, high pressure clean. the wheel well all clean and dry. Brake dust covers are painted and dry. Refit the wheels. Get this thing on the ground because I went ahead and topped up the coolant. I didn't film that because it's pouring fluid into a tank. You get the idea. It's pretty much the exact same procedure for the rear. Get the wheels off, get them clean, brake dust shields, clean the wheel wells, put everything back on. Well, that's the engine bay all clean, all the wheel wells clean, and the wheels cleaned, and it's actually running now, but I think I'm about out of time. So next episode, I intend to get this thing washed, attempt to polish it, and a whole bunch of parts that are on the way need to be fitted to make this car more reliable before I hand it back. So I guess all that's left to say is thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Cheers.